So I'd just seen A Haunting in Venice and it was okay. It wasn't great, it wasn't bad, it was right in the middle. Here's my review. A Haunting in Venice is the third movie in the Kenneth Branagh Detective Poirot's investigative series sort of thing, and I liked it. Now, if you've seen Murder on the Orient Express or Death on the Nile, then you know exactly what you're in for here. Those two movies are basically Detective Poirot going on a case, someone gets murdered, all-star cast, and we find out who it is. This one plays it slightly different in the fact that you don't know whether someone was murdered by a person or by supernatural forces, aka the ghost of a girl that fell off a balcony in this like location that they're in, and it's not scary at all. Okay, so let's just put it down there. This is listed as a horror. It's not. Okay, it's a detective whodunit movie at its best. So don't go in if you're a massive horror fan being like, oh, A Haunting in Venice, there's going to be really cool creepy stuff. No. Even when they do try and be creepy, it's not creepy. So Kenneth Branagh is the director and he is also the lead star. I love his character, right? He's very funny. I think he just loves using his French accent, and to be honest, just some of the stuff he says is very funny. I think there's one point where he's eating a chocolate biscuit and I think he calls it chocky wocky or something, and he says it in a French accent. It's just very funny. And he is investigating because there is a girl who was killed 1 year ago, and there's basically a seance where Michelle Yeoh's character is like a medium and she is contacting this spirit. The cast is pretty stacked, as have the other two being, you know, in the first one we had Johnny Depp, etc. The second one we had Gal Gadot, and there's a lot more people in that I actually cannot remember right now. But in this one we have the likes of Tina Fey, Jamie Dornan, Kyle Allen, Michelle Yeoh, Kenneth Branagh, of course. And as all of the movies before this have done, someone ends up being murdered and Poirot investigates. And I can't really say anything about the plot because it would ruin like the twists and turns. But to be honest with you, I was a little bit underwhelmed. I was like, oh, okay, right, this is what they're going with and that's fine. But I just didn't really like the full reveal. If you've seen the other two movies, I know I keep referring to them, but you know that the kind of template for these movies is at the very end, he gathers everybody in a room and he starts spilling out all of his evidence and why he thinks someone has murdered that person. And in this, he does that, but it was just kind of like, wait, what? Okay, yeah, I'm keeping track of everything, but I don't know how this played any importance. But you know, looking back then, the pieces come together. But this was marketed as a kind of much more horror spin on this, and it wasn't. Okay, so just lower your expectations on that. And unfortunately, as some of you might go in and see this movie and you might enjoy it for what it is, like I did, but I couldn't help the entire time comparing it to Knives Out and Glass Onion. And I don't know why, but let's be honest, Knives Out and Glass Onion, top tier, and Death on the Nile, Murder on the Orient Express and A Haunting in Venice, not as good in my opinion. Now look, all I can say is that there's some lovely shots in this, and I've seen this in movies at the Square, and I have to say I've never seen the screen so clear, and like it was 12K. The quality was insane, and the shots of Venice are lovely. The cast do a great job in their acting roles, and you know, I can't fault anybody. Jamie Dornan plays like a disturbed doctor from the war. Poirot, of course, is his funny investigator self. You got Michelle Yeoh as the medium, so she's kind of tapping into her spiritual, supernatural self. And then you got Tina Fey, who's an author, and she's like, you know, getting inspiration for her next book and stuff. And then all of the other side characters as well all have a part to play. And I love these movies. I love this genre. I love this kind of sitting down and being like, okay, I think it's them. But in this, I suppose you could probably look back and be like, yeah, I could see that coming a mile away. So it is a fun time. I didn't want to ever get up and leave the cinema, and it did go by pretty quickly. It's only an hour and 40 minutes. So, you know, take it for what it is. It's fun time. If you like the other movies, you're going to like this too. Personally, I don't think this is my favorite of the three. I would probably sit this maybe second. I'd go Murder on the Orient Express, A Haunting in Venice, Death on the Nile. But to be honest, I could swap and change Death on the Nile and Haunting in Venice because I think they're very similar to each other in terms of quality. But if you need something to go and see this weekend or this coming week, go and see A Haunting in Venice. It's pretty much the only big release coming out this week. I will give it a final score of 3 stars, a 6 out of 10. It's good, it's fun, it's a whodunit. Everybody loves those types of movies. Sit down, kind of guess who you think it is. But if you were to tell me that there is another one of these coming out next year, I would be there because I do find them very entertaining.